So this is going to be my final update for the Finish 9 by New Year's challenge, and I will link my intro video down in the description box down there below. I was planning to do 1 or 2 updates for this challenge, but I just ran out of time before the end of the year. I even have markings on a few of my products because I was planning to do an update, but just never got around to it. So this wasn't technically the best challenge that I've had this year. I didn't finish everything. In fact, I only finished about half of them, but I did make some decent progress on the other half. I went down to my hometown and I actually lost 2 lip glosses down there. So the lip gloss that was in this challenge, I don't know where it's at, but I did have 10 products, so I do have 9 to show you, but I still have no idea where that lip gloss is, and it's just barely after the new year, so I don't know where it's at. So the first item that I was able to finish off is from Tarte. This is it here. This is their Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Pressed Finishing Powder, and this was just a little deluxe size sample of it. You can see there. And I used this just for underneath my eyes, and this went really quick, actually. I thought it was nice, and I think this actually sets my under eyes just a little bit better than my regular pressed face powder, so I would consider picking up some sort of extremely finely milled powder in the future for my under eyes specifically. The next item I have is my MAC Fix Plus, and this is where you can barely see the line, but it was right where my finger is there. And then I was planning to do an update, so just ignore this mark here, but this is completely finished off. Nothing else is able to spray out of here. I'm actually missing this because my face is quite dry lately, so I'm thinking I might pick up another one of these really soon. The next item that I'm really happy that I finished was my Pond's Luminous Finish BB Cream. I love this stuff. I do have a backup. This looks like there's product here, but I squished it all the way down flat like that. I'm not going to cut it open just because I have another backup of this. And when I started this challenge, I was right at that mark there. So, pretty decent amount. This mark up here at the top, if you can see that, that was from when I picked out items that I wanted to finish off before the end of 2015, and I'll do an updated video on that shortly. But anyway, so I started here, and I thought that these were about a third of the way through, so since this has 1.5 fluid ounces, I thought there was about half a fluid ounce of BB cream in here, so happy to have that one done. I also was able to finish off the Kat Von D lipstick in Lovecraft. Yeah, that's what this one was. So, this is in the old packaging here. Absolutely love the formula of her old lipsticks, but when I roll this all the way up, like that's the plastic holder right there, and when it's flush against the edge, that's what I have sitting there. So I'm considering this done. There is a swatch of it on the back of my hand there. It was a really nice kind of reddish mauve. That's what it pulled on my lips, but I did enjoy that for the cooler months, but I'm happy to have finished this off since it is one of her older formulas of her lipsticks. But I also wanted to show you real quick, when I started the challenge, the lipstick was all the way up to that silver mark when I held it up against here, so not too bad. I think I did a pretty good job on this lipstick. I also had a top coat in this project, and I used to use this top coat all the time. This is the Out the Door top coat, and then I discovered Seche Vite, and this is the last one that I have. Sometimes I'll pick these up when Seche Vite isn't in stock in my Sally's, so that's where I got this one from. But when I started, I was all the way up at that mark there, and currently it's down to, let's see, it's down to right at the top of my fingernail there. You can see it right there. This is so goopy that I'm just gonna let this one go. I didn't, finish it all the way down to the bottom, but my thinner wasn't working on this one as well as it does on like my colored polishes, so I'm just gonna let this go and consider this one finished, since I did use a considerable amount of this top coat. And now I'll move on to the items that I wasn't able to finish. The first one is a toner. This is from Elizabeth Arden. I picked this up at TJ Maxx, and this is for normal to dry skin. It's her Hydra Splash alcohol-free toner. That's what the packaging looks like there. When I started, originally I just had this marking from July of 2015, but I was a little bit lower, so I put a new marking on it right there. This second one here is where I started, and I got all the way down to here. So I was pretty happy about that. And even though I didn't finish it, this should be finished off relatively soon, in the first 1 or 2 months of this year, so really happy about this one. And then I had a second lipstick that was in this project. This one was a little bit more of a sheer formula than the Kat Von D one. This is the L'Oreal Color Riche lipstick in number 170, which is cotton pink, and they look like these right here. Now, again, this one I had a second marking there, so that is the original start date. The second one is an update that I was planning to film, and this third one is where I got down to. So that makes a little bit more sense when I hold the lipstick up to it, but that middle one, you can just kind of ignore it. So that's where I got down to. There's really not a ton of lipstick left in here, and I can focus more of my attention on this one solely for the next week or two, and it'll be finished. I had a MAC Fluid Line. This is in the shade Dark Envy. I picked this out to be finished off before the end of 2015 too, and I just didn't really work on this a lot this year. So let me show you where I got down to. That is all that I have left in there. It's a really teeny pot, and there's not a ton left in there. I actually have to put a layer down, let it dry down a little bit, and then put a second coat over the top of it to make it an opaque line with no like see-through gaps or anything. So while there is a little bit left in here, it shouldn't take too long to finish off when I start using it again, just because I have to use twice as much as I would if this was in any other shade. This is actually the only fluid line that I've ever had from MAC that's had that issue. Most of them are all a really solid, nice, pigmented color, and I only have to do one pass, but this one's a little bit of a different formula, and it's been like that since the beginning. It's not because it's old or anything. So there's that one. The final item that I had in this project was a color tattoo. And when I first started, I really didn't have a ton left in here that was against the bottom, but it was all around the edges. So I was using it, it was quite dry, and so I decided, well, I'll just mix it up, and then it became almost too creamy. So this is gonna look very different from the last update, but I mixed it all up in there, pushed it all up to one side, and it was just a little bit less than half of the container. I would say it covered about that much in there, and I've used the rest of that over. So this should be gone in maybe a month. 3 weeks, I would say, maybe. But I'm really happy that I was able to revive this one. This is the first color tattoo that I've ever had dry out. And the weird thing is that I had some that were a little bit older than this, and they were creamy the entire way through. So not quite sure what was going on with this one, but that does actually work. If yours seems to be a little bit drier, try mixing it up in there and then pressing it against one edge, and it should be creamy again. And just for fun, I did a swatch of the L'Oreal Cotton Pink right here, so you could see it. And then this is the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Bad to the Bronze. So hopefully the other 4 items can be finished off pretty quick, and I can get them into my empties for 2016. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!